Starting one-step equations and did a review of one-step equations yesterday. And we're going to do a quick little review today. I am hoping that you have this handout. If you do not have this handout, you are going to copy. You're going to copy the examples that I do off of here into your OMG. And then I'm going to put this handout into Google Classroom for you to do the other problems on a sheet of paper. So if you do not have this handout, you're going to copy the problems that I do as examples down in your OMG. And then you're going to go to the handout that is in Google Classroom and copy the problems onto a sheet of paper and do the practice that way. If you do have this handout, that's great. So I'm just not sure if these got copied or not. So, all right. Yesterday we did one-step equations. So I'm going to do just a quick little review of that with number 1 and 3 right here. And expression first. We always start on the side where the expression. So here's my expression. Here's my constant term. Here's my variable term. I'm going to zero out my constant term with the inverse operation. Or the other way that you can always know what to do is C comes before V in the alphabet. And so I start with C. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. And M equals this right here. At this point right here, you're going to use your calculator. Do not rely on your mashed potato brain. You are going to use your calculator, and you should get a -2. All right? Do 1 through 4 right here, just as a quick review of one-step equations. First thing you want to do is find your expression. My expression is on the right. Then I locate my variable term and my constant term. My variable term is the G right here. My constant term is the C. Now I go to my C because C comes before V in the alphabet. I've got to zero out my constant term. My constant term is going to be, to zero out of -9, I have to do a +9 over here. If I do a +9 on the right, I do a +9 on the left. Now, the other side of the equal sign, so this is like a road. And we're going across the road. We're going to do the same thing over here and over here. So we go across the road, we zero that out. This V right here tells me to bring down my G. -2 plus 9, use your calculator right here, and you're going to get a +7. Right here. This is my expression. Now, we have a variable term, we have a constant term, but I'm multiplying here. Up here I was adding, up here I was subtracting. I only have to do one. There's one operation. With a one-step equation, you have one operation. Adding, subtracting. You only have one operation that you have to worry about in order to get your variable by itself. Because our ultimate goal here is to have a +1 coefficient for our variable. We have an invisible 1 sitting right there. We have an invisible 1 sitting right there. We want a +1 coefficient in front of our variable. We want our invisible 1 sitting in front of our variable. Okay? So we're multiplying. So right here, I've got to undo that multiplication. If I'm multiplying here, The opposite of multiplying is to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by -7. -7 divided by -7 gives me a +1. There's my +1 coefficient. -91 divided by -7. I got to get my calculator out here on my phone because I don't have my other calculator. So give me just a second. I got sleepy brain this morning. -7. We know it's going to be positive, and it's a +13. Okay, over here we are dividing. This is division. A divided by 9. We have one operation that we have to undo. We have one operation that we have to undo. So A divided by 9 means that I've got to multiply in order to get my A by itself and get that +1 coefficient. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 9. Now I use parentheses. But if you wanted to, you could do a dot right here, times 9, times 9. That's going to divide and give you a 1, because what we're doing here is actually multiplying by the reciprocal. That's 9/1, and we would end up with a +1. So A equals -4 times a +9 is a -36. All right, that's a quick review of one-step equations. I'm going to do a couple of these. This says to get rid of a fraction, multiply by the reciprocal. Well, we're not doing this, okay? We're not going to do this because I want you to reckon. I want you to mark that out. That does work. That does work, and that is something that you're going to get to. But right now, we want you to recognize this as multiplication. This is 2/3 multiplied by x. If 2/3 is being multiplied by x, in order to find out what x is, I'm just going to divide. I'm going to use my inverse operation. So it's going to look weird. It's going to look funny, but don't worry about it. You're going to put it in the calculator. So you got 2/3 times x means I'm going to divide both sides by 2/3. So when I do 2/3 divided by 2/3 right there, I get an x. 10 divided by 2/3, and I don't know if I can do that on my phone. $16.7. What my calculator, I used the decimal, so, but 10 divided by 2/3 is going to be about 16.66 repeating, which is 7. All of these, you're going to be dividing both sides by that fraction. I don't have my calculator to do that, so I'm going to just move on down to these 2 steps, but you're just going to divide both sides by -6/5 here, divide by -6/5 here, and at this point right here, when you get to this step right here, you're going to use your calculator. At this step right here, you're going to use the calculator. So we're dividing both sides by 4/9. That gives us W. Divide by 4/9. Use your calculator. divided by negative 1/2. We get m divided by negative 1/2. Use your calculator, okay? So use the calculator on that step right there. Use the calculator on that step right there, okay? Two-step equations, we're going to have two operations to take care of before we get the variable by itself. Remember, our ultimate goal, let's come right down here. Our ultimate goal here is we need a positive 1 coefficient. Have a positive 1 coefficient. The variable must have a positive 1 coefficient. All right. Right here. We're going to do the same thing we did. We're going to find our expression. We're going to do three things. We're going to find our expression, locate our C and our V, and then start with C, okay? We're going to find our expression. Our expression is over here. That's the expression. In the expression, so you can just cover this up. In the expression, my C is my number. Here's my V, my variable term and my constant term, okay? Now we start with C. We go in alphabetical order. We start with C. So right here with C, that means I'm going to subtract 8 and subtract 8 because I have to go across the road to do the same thing. This zeroes out. That gives me 0. This V is pointing, saying bring down that 6, X. Put this in your calculator, and 50 minus 8 is going to be 42, but I'm going to do it in my calculator just to make sure that my mashed potato brain is awake. A 6. 7. Look at this one. Find your expression. Here's my expression. Cover that up for a minute. My C is the one without the variable. My V is the one with the variable. I go in alphabetical order. Start with C. So I have a plus 9. A minus 9 is going to take that C right there and make it a 0. It turns it into a 0. It zeroes it out. The V right here is telling me to bring down my negative 4K. Now I can come over here and write that. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. (13) divided by negative 4. Get some kind of massive mistake here. It's dead. Oh my gosh. That is not right. I did not, look at what I did. I subtracted 9 right there. I gotta come over here and subtract 9. That is a very, very, very common mistake that y'all make. And I'm clearly not awake this morning. That becomes a 0. Bring down your negative 4K. I gotta do that subtraction right there, guys, before I knew that something looked wrong. Positive 4 right here. Now I divide by negative 4. A negative 1. I forgot that step. I forgot that. Look at that. You've got it. Whatever you do over here, you have to do on the other side of the road. You got to cross the road and do the same thing. Okay? I'm not going to do these two. I'm going to leave these two for you to do. So if you don't have this handout, you need to copy these two problems into your notes. I am going to put this document in Google Classroom just in case you don't have the handout, okay? All right. Here's my expression. The term. Here's my variable term. I start with my constant term and I'm going to add 7 over here and add 7 across the road. Gotta go across the road and do the same thing. This becomes a 0. I bring down my x divided by 2. 9 plus, that's 16. Now, you'll need your reaction. The first thing you're going to go and do is go, oh, the answer is 8. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because we are dividing right here. We are dividing, we have to do the inverse. Anytime you are dividing right here, you're going to have to do the inverse, which means I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, which makes that x equals 32. So, right here, here's my expression, here's my constant term, here's my variable term. That's where we have to start. I'm going to subtract 22 over here, go across the road, subtract 22. That zeroes out. Bring down my 3/5. X equals 28 minus 22 is going to be 6. This is being multiplied. That's multiplication. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3/5. Calculator that will do those fractions right now. So I'm going to put x equals, and I want you to put this in your calculator. 6 divided by 3/5 and get the answer. I'm going to jump down here and get you started on number 18, and then we're going to move to the bottom, and then you're going to finish these. Expressions over here now. My expressions over here. So I'm going to cover that up for a minute. This is my constant term right here. Here's my C. Here's my V. Okay? My constant term is a positive 9, so I'm going to subtract 9 right here. Come across the road and subtract 9. That's a 0. 1/2 x. 15. Divide both sides by -1/2 equals a -12. Put this in your calculator. Put this right here. 6 divided by -1/2 into your calculator. Okay? This one and this one in your note. Either on this handout or on a sheet of paper. Keep all of this together. If you're doing this if you don't have this handout and this is in your OMG, if you don't have your handout, just do these practice problems in your OMG, because I'm going to post another video tomorrow of me. It's an old video of me going over this whole handout again so that you can pick up the ones that we didn't go over today. Okay? or I may put it in for you to go up tonight. But it'll be there for you to go back and look at. But it won't be until after you've had time to work these other ones, because I know y'all won't work them if I put it in there now. All right, now let's look at these. These are the ones that are kind of the oddballs. These are your odd man out. And the only thing I have to tell you is you just have to go in a different order. You got to get that off the bottom. And here's the thing, guys. Look at that. I want to get rid of that thing that's on the bottom. I don't, when you have an expression in the numerator, when you have an expression in the numerator, you have to do this first. When you have an expression in the numerator, you have to take care of the denominator first. All right? I want you to, unique case. This is a unique case. Put you a note down here. Expression in the numerator. This is a unique case. In the numerator. Care of the denominator first. Fine. Both sides. So what we're doing is we're going to take, this is being divided. This is division, x plus 8, 11 divided by 8. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to multiply both sides by 8 and go ahead and take care of my 8. So I'm going to draw my parentheses. I'm going to multiply by an 8 right here and get rid of that and get x plus 11 over here. And this is negative 3. Now that's just a one-step equation. After that, I subtract 11 from both sides, and x equals a negative 14. This one, before I can do anything else, I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative 2. By a negative 2. Right here, I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative 6. Right here, I'm going to multiply both sides by 9. Okay? So I'm going to leave it there for you to finish. I'm going to leave it there for you to finish. All right? I will put a picture of this into Google Classroom for you. If you haven't listened to me go over it, you are going to be lost with all of my scribble. But you are going to finish this, number 10, number 12. If you have to watch this more than once to get it, then you need to do that. And if I have any additional videos that I can throw in for you, I will. So I will, good luck, and I'll see you soon.